What up, Candid peoples?
Hi.
It's the Candid Athletic Training podcast. And yeah, you know, it's Wednesday. It's 8:30 at night here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's late. I'm tired. He's tired. Everybody's tired.
You know what?
I'm just gonna take a nap.
I feel great.
I feel great too. It's podcast time.
The lights are on.
Let's go.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right. You know,
You had
dad life. Long
dad
day.
Life. Oh, yeah.
We're getting there. Just when you think you got everything figured out, life throws you for a loop when you got kids, right? Sounds like athletic training. Sounds like parents are good athletic trainers. Both the men's and the women's.
How
Easy back.
How was your Halloween? Let's start there. For all of you on the live stream, may the force be with you, but may your Halloween candy bags be full. Did you do well? Did you do any trick-or-treating?
I personally didn't do any
You
trick-treating. My little guy personally did not do any trick-treating. He's still, 3 months old, going door to door. Let's be honest. I'm getting the candy by myself. For myself.
We did it. Yeah, we did it with a 1-month-old.
Well, this is what I'll say. I was at 3 different trick-or-treats, and so I got plenty of candy.
You got adult trick-or-treats.
Lots of family members having trick-or-treats in their neighborhoods, friends having it, and so we just took advantage, threw our little guy in a hedgehog costume, and went for it.
Which is what we did. That's how we got into Sonic last week, isn't it? Is that how we started talking about Sonic the Hedgehog?
Yes.
That was a fun talk.
No, actual hedgehog.
If you like talking about video games or debating video games, go back to episode 192. So much fun.
And to be fair,
so okay, hold on.
I'd be tired even if it was 6 p.m. or if it was 4 a.m.
We're going to talk Halloween candy for a second.
Okay, bring it.
Friend or foe?
Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
Friend or foe? No, everyone knows that. Friend or foe? Nuts in your chocolate.
Get out of here, nuts.
So it's either peanut butter, which is a nut, but it's like a creamy, chunks of nut.
Not a big fan. Not a big fan.
I kind of agree. I just give me the plain chocolate.
No thanks. I don't. It's one of those things where I like nuts by themselves, and I like chocolate by itself. When it gets together, it's not my favorite thing. It's just not.
Yeah.
What do you got?
Well, hopefully the candy. Well, I think the candy consumption was high the last couple of days. I think everyone was binging on sugar highs.
Probably.
Because if you've gone on AT Twitter this week, it is fucking fireworks. It is code red.
Code red.
Like always.
When was the last time you had a code red?
Code red.
Yeah.
It was before me. It was the year before me.
What?
You never heard that story?
No.
So you remember Eric, our friend Eric, who's a year older than me.
Oh.
Married one of your classmates.
Yep.
Eric was the baseball AT the year before I was the baseball AT. And this might actually make for a really good friend or foe, actually. Maybe we should, I don't know, we can get into it. So when they went indoors for baseball in the winter months, he tended to stay in the ATR while the team was in, he would do treatments on the players in the ATR while the team was practicing.
Okay.
So he had a walkie-talkie.
Walkie-talkie.
In case somebody got hurt, they would walkie-talkie him to the gym.
I remember this. Oh, I remember this.
And somebody got on the walkie-talkie and said,
was with the team.
There's a code red.
Yes.
Code red.
Yes.
Ball in the ass. Code red, ball in the ass. Code red, ball in the ass. And Eric's got his walkie-talkie in the
YouTube now.
middle of the AT room.
Yes.
in the treatment area, super busy. It's like the middle of the afternoon. All the other athletes are in there, and it's on full blast, and all the athletes here is code red, ball in the ass, ball in the ass. So he runs in there to yell at them, be like, "This is not a game." I would have lost my shit. I would have laughed. I would have thought it was hysterical, to be honest.
Of course you would have. You definitely would have handled that situation a little differently.
No, so you were working with Eric at the time?
Yes.
Yeah, because I must have been in my internship then.
You were. And then you came back. You took over the baseball team.
Yeah.
And I stayed with the baseball team.
Yeah, it's all downhill from there.
All downhill from there. But when was the last time you actually had a Mountain Dew Code Red?
Never. That's what you were asking. Got it. I couldn't tell you the last time I actually had a Mountain Dew.
Oh, me neither. Maybe high school.
So I was going to say, for me, 20 years.
I was never really a Mountain Dew fan. Is that a hot take?
I'm
Mountain
with
Dew
you there. I
sucks
think
as
it's
a soda?
I think it's a hot take, but I agree with you. Let's put it up on social media. Is Mountain Dew?
Is Mountain Dew even soda?
Well, no. Is it Mountain Dew? Is it good?
Is it just gasoline colored?
Do you
green?
like Mountain Dew?
Do you like Mountain Dew? You know, for all, is it weird? I feel like there's so many people out there now that are so against artificial flavoring, things that just aren't very natural. The invention of Red Bull, the invention of all these other Monster and energy drinks. Does Mountain Dew even exist anymore? It has to.
It's the OG.
It's the OG.
They should get royalties anytime Mountain Dew. You started this.
Every time Red Bull runs a Formula One race, they owe Mountain Dew some money.
You would think.
They're really good at racing.
Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
To answer some questions on the live stream.
What questions?
They asked about what the shitstorm on Twitter was. The ones that I've been seeing the last couple of days have all revolved around the NATA push for renewals going into 2023 and people debating the importance / efficacy / what does the professional organization do for us. And that's not the talk we're going to have right now. Maybe we'll do it another night. I just thought it was, that's what people were debating. And I thought I was just eating the popcorn.
The great debate.
Get your popcorn ready.
Yeah, I think it's great.
The former president was pretty fired up on Twitter. I hadn't seen anything from him in forever, and it was just guns ablazing everywhere.
Really?
Tory Lindley, yeah. He just...
Tearing people some new ones?
He was just promoting the profession, or the professional organization.
Yeah. Did he do a good job of promoting it?
That's up to each individual.
What's your opinion? You can be candid. It's the Candid Athletic Training podcast.
Yeah. I think it probably started in a good place. I think they probably do way more behind the scenes than we realize they do. I think a lot of ATs feel like it's a money grab. And maybe they don't provide the value for the $200 that it costs to be a member.
Yeah.
I think that's probably where I'll stop talking.
Do you think
it's $200 some to be a member? I'm sure and I think a lot of it comes down to people want more for their money.
Sure.
And I think where the money goes gets lost to some. I think NATA would say that they're pretty transparent about it. I don't know if I agree or disagree. I'd love to have somebody on. I think where I know me personally, where I am a bad AT
for me
is understanding the state legislation, the local side of it. Like, what does WATA do for us? What does your state organization do for you? What do the regionals one do? And then I think we have an idea of what the NATA does. I would love to have somebody on from our state. Maybe we should talk to Renee or Rhonda and have somebody on and just talk about like, look, what goes into this?
Yeah.
And why?
Just be honest with us.
And you know what? Being Packer fans here, a couple years ago, there was this whole silo. Yeah, the Packs suck this year.
They do.
The silos talk where the GM and the coach and the players and the owners, like whatever, nobody was talking to each other. I feel like that's one of the biggest problems in the athletic training profession is you have the clinicians versus the educators versus the legislation people. And everyone is saying, what about me? Nobody wants to understand what the other folks are doing to help the profession. And everyone wants to bitch about the profession. And that's where we're at.
Well, there you go.
I think the clinicians need the bigwigs to plain and simple. ATs want more money and better regulated jobs, and I don't know if it can ever happen. Better pay might be able to happen, but like the whole change the profession so that I'm not burned out, I don't know.
Well, going into that,
yeah.
I mean, we've talked about it a few times. I've talked about it numerous times on the podcast, but then also outside the podcast. At what point does the profession accommodate to less burnout, better hours, better pay? You probably could take pay out of it, but better hours, better work-life balance, and it's no longer athletic training. Because then maybe it's something else. Maybe you're like, you are an athletic trainer. You are a licensed athletic trainer, but do you practice athletic training?
Not anymore.
Yeah. I am an athletic trainer. I work with people on their injuries and their ailments and how they move and this and that, but I don't live the lifestyle of traditional.
Yeah.
And so am I still an athletic trainer, or am I just a therapist, a manual therapist, a movement specialist? Like we've always talked about how the profession is more of a concierge profession anyways, and we hope that we can keep that with the ability to actually impact hands-on bodies, teach people how to move better, teach people how to like get through injuries, rehabs, how to stay healthy and so forth. But when does it become not athletic training? And my problem with NATA is that I think with most organizations, with most representation of a profession, you pay a membership due and you expect a lot out of that. And I think in reverse, what is expected is that this is just your small contribution to the profession. Not only are you working and you're promoting and doing a good job at your site or wherever you work, but monetarily giving that allows for a sense of a big community. Instead of, this is what we're going to do for you. This is how we're going to get you better paying jobs. They did the salary survey. Did everybody get a bump in pay? No. They've done the, hey, should we be calling it something other than athletic training versus this? They've tried it. Did it change anything? No. So it is $225 or whatever it is. It's not a little amount of money, but I do think there's the expectation that this is just a way to unify everybody by writing the check. And then whatever. Maybe you get some benefits down the line.
Yeah.
Are you going to renew?
Yep.
Yeah, me too.
Because I want to go to the convention and
Yep,
you get a better
exactly.
rate on the convention. That's what I care about is seeing the people.
I get a better rate on the convention. I get to hang out with athletic trainers. Hopefully,
Yeah.
I'm not having another child next summer.
Hopefully not. Well, you would have to be very efficient.
Well,
very.
what month is it? November?
Yep.
Oh, no, we're past the window then. We're good.
We're good.
Okay, we're good. We're good,
So-
everybody. I should be there. I'm going to be there.
So,
Woo!
away from the negativity,
What?
onto
No.
the positivity.
All right.
Let's talk about our friends
Oh, the best friends in the entire world.
at Healthy Roster. HealthyRoster.com. If you are in the market for a new EMR, this should be your first stop. HealthyRoster.com. I know one of our live streamers right now reached out and said, how can I get in touch with them? We need them. And you do need them. And I hope it works
Dan,
out for you.
Dan, I need you.
I said, Dan, we got somebody.
You know what was cool? I saw on our
cool?
Twitter world, because I was cruising through it as I usually do on a Wednesday to just kind of
cruising down the street,
catch
in my
up with
6'4".
the friend or foes and such that you put up. You retweeted. They did like an athletic training, buy your athletic trainer a coffee thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I love those guys.
I mean, they just get it.
I don't even need one. I'm just glad somebody else got one.
I know.
In fact, you know what would be fun?
What?
We're going to send Dan and them some of these coffee mugs.
Let's do it.
And they're going to
give them away.
Give away a free cup of coffee in this coffee mug.
All right. Make it happen.
No, I'm going to do it. Because that's the big one. Nobody needs the little guy. Even though I like the look of it.
I do too.
Everybody needs the big one.
Oh, Abby said they hooked her up with a gift card for Cherry Coke Zero. There's another
That's
drink
so
I've never
specific.
had. Yeah.
How do you get a gift card for Cherry Coke Zero? That's specific. Is it to your local gas station?
Isn't that basically what
crack is?
No,
yes.
Cherry Coke Zero.
Hey,
Mr. Pibb.
Mr. Pibb.
Isn't that like a cherry cola? Or what's the other colas that I'm thinking of?
The other colas.
Oh,
RC?
Dr. Pepper. Isn't
RC?
Dr. Pepper basically like a cola with cherry in it? Isn't that what Dr. Pepper is?
So. No, I don't think so.
They just got weird ass commercials now.
Cherry Coke, though, I will say, I don't drink a lot of soda. But when I go to a movie, I might get me a Cherry Coke.
I'm a root beer.
Yeah, I love me a root beer. My mom just got me a 4-pack of root beer from Door County, which is kind of like a Wisconsin.
She got you a what?
So, were they in Door County? No, they were in the Wisconsin Dells. They were in Wisconsin Dells, and they were at some kind of I swear to you, root beer museum.
I've heard that.
Yeah, and
it's
so
there.
she brought me a 4-pack home of different root beers.
I'm gonna go now.
I'll send you pictures.
Oh, please do. We're gonna have to rank our soda talk.
Mount Rushmore of soda.
Well, maybe we can do that with our FMK or with our fat tonight.
Sarsaparilla.
Okay. So we thanked Healthy Roster. Also, really quick, thanks to Smart Tools. 10% off anything that Smart Tools has, which is basically your BFR and your soft tissue instrument assisted devices using the code Candid10. Check them out, Smart Tools. And then also thanks to Human Kinetics, who is going to give you 20% off any CEU course that they have by using the code Candid CEU. Candid CEU. They also have given us a total of 12 courses to give away. We have just learned recently that each course is worth not 4, but 6 CEUs. So we're giving away 72 CEUs over the course of basically, I think we're going to do it over 24 weeks. We're doing it every other week.
That's a lot.
So the next one, so we gave away one last week. So next week we'll give away another CEU course. So all you have to do is be a member of the show. So you can get 6 CEUs for signing up for a membership. So go ahead to our website, candidathletictraining.com, and do that. Enough with that. Let's start having some freaking fun on this thing. You ready?
Let's do it.
All right.
Baja Blast.
There's the live stream comments are all over the place.
Is Baja Blast another?
I think it's a Mountain Dew. Yeah.
Is it blue?
I don't know.
I feel just something with the name Blast in it. I see blue. I really don't know what color it is.
Oh, that's a different poll.
The Blast You poll? Oh.
I'm so
excited.
let's just quick go
Man,
to the Mountain Dew poll. Up 13 minutes ago.
Nice.
61% do not like Mountain Dew as of right now. 40% do. And, let's start with our friend or foe tonight.
Okay.
Just because I got the website up here or the Twitter up, Candid ATC. We just hit 3,000 tweets. That's fun. We just did over 3,000 tweets.
Uh-huh. Twitters.
Friend or foe, Kevin? The body blade.
Ooh, shake it, but not the shake weight. Shake it. It's got to go side to side. Friend or foe, body blade. The body blade.
This is a tough one.
You know what you could turn this into? Like an
FMK? Oh.
No, like athletic training infomercials. Like that fits right there, right? The body blade should be an infomercial. And maybe it was at some point. I actually think it was. What is the origin of the body blade? If anybody knows, send me a link. I feel like I was 10 years old and I saw some dude.
Whoa, why don't we save that for our next guest of the year?
Rap. Oh, there you go. That's a good one. I swear I saw that thing on an infomercial. Absolute ripped guy, just, shaking it side to side. And I was like, look at the muscles I got just from shaking this blade. And then somebody said, listen, that's not going to work, but maybe we could do some rehab exercises with it. Friend or foe, body blade, in athletic training, foe.
Why? This is such a... you might sway me here because I don't know where I'm going yet.
What's the claim of the body blade? Proprioceptive.
PNF.
Right? PNF. I'm looking up, do they have a website even?
Sorry, Kevin. Kevin Joyce jumped on just to say, I got to go back to bed, 7 a.m. practice, just so they can go 5-25 again this year. Wow. Tough times.
Oh, shoot. I shouldn't have looked at this because now I know what year it was designed in. It's meant to be this, the claim is, you use your, the stabilization muscles while you're doing exercises. And no matter what, because you're creating a back and forth motion with a blade, you have to use your core. I think it gets used too much in order to be a catch-all. When I'm not really sure if it's really improving, let's say, overhead stability by shaking back and forth, right? Because when I shake back and forth, I'm not really creating stability. I need to create stability by actually owning the end range of the motion. And I think it's a good burn.
It's so tough.
It's a good burn, but I don't think there's...
It's a harmless foe?
It's a harmless foe. That's
it's a foe, but it's not really hurting anyone. So
well, no, okay, then I'm gonna go foe because even though it's a foe that's not hurting anybody, it's still a foe. And
Nisi said that
it's not really helping much.
Read that comment. Read that last one. That's a great one.
Nisi, when I was an AT student at a high school, one athlete was using his broom at home as a body blade.
I friggin' love it, actually.
That's awesome. That's freaking awesome.
I want to back up to something you said when you started talking about the body blade.
PVC pipe, maybe. I don't know.
So at the beginning you said it's designed for you to use your stabilizer muscles.
Yep.
So is the goal to have your stabilizer muscles take over for the big muscles? Because I think that would be a faux concept to me.
Is the goal for your stabilizer muscles to take over for your bigger mover muscles? Oh, he's dying.
Yeah, I've been battling this cold.
You might as well have went.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Let's let the big muscles be the big muscles and the stabilizer muscles. I don't know. Should the stabilizer muscles be more important?
I talk about this a lot with.
Man, I'm kind of lost.
So, I think there's this. There's a little bit of a misconceived perception of like all of our joints have small muscles that create stability, and then the big muscles move it. It's not really how it works, right? You do have your rotator cuff muscles that are meant to hold that humeral head in the glenoid fossa. But when you're doing a shake of a body blade, are you only using your rotator cuff muscles? Absolutely not. Even the science out there, I don't care what research article you give me, that if you use 2 pounds and not 10 pounds, you're going to use your rotator cuff muscles and not your deltoids. No, you're going to use your deltoids.
All the
you're
muscles.
moving a piece of your body. So I do think I'm going faux because it gives the notion that there are stabilizer muscles in each joint versus mover muscles. And when all of them have to work in conjunction with each other, and more importantly, we kind of have more stable areas of our body versus mobile areas of our body. And when we don't treat that mobile area the right way or treat the stable area the right way, we create restriction in a mobile area.
I'm going to say it depends.
And so this, shaking above your head until it burns, has nothing to do with throwing a baseball.
All right. However, I guess the argument is so doing an isometric body blade is a faux. Well, just like shaking it in basically one spot, faux. But you can take it through a range of motion, and I feel like that is a friend.
You do?
Sure.
Okay.
If I did a front raise with a body blade, and down.
Only if you make the noises.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or if I go through a pitching motion with a body blade,
it's no longer the pitching motion.
It's no longer the pitching motion, but
I'm being devil's advocate.
Yeah, it's still
I get where you're going, and I
like if you're moving it through a range of motion, friend.
Yeah.
If you're not moving it through a range of motion, foe.
Okay.
Ultimately, that's a user error. So I'll say friend.
Error.
On social media, on Candid _ATC, we had 88% said friend, 12% said foe. Nate said friend until you have to try and teach someone who has no rhythm. Fair.
Or you don't have any rhythm, you have to teach somebody.
Eric Rogers says, my left arm has no coordination. My left arm has no coordination, so definitely demonstrate on right arm, but I'm working on it. I like to add a resistance band to the wrist and have them face the anchor and also perpendicular.
Okay.
And then Abby said, I'm a fan of the body blade for sure. I got my oldest kid one for Christmas last year. He uses it all the time. So, pretty heavy.
Real heavy
friend.
Stuff. Real heavy stuff. Still fun.
Oh, Abby just broke my heart.
Oh, Abby.
Oh, she just... I just broke up with Abby.
Oh, Abby. Standing on Bosu's.
I was
going to ask you.
You had me at hello.
Okay. Balance, proprioception, like all of it. What if you held the body blade in one position, but then somebody else hit both ends of it? What if you weren't moving it and somebody else was hitting it? Would that create more stability?
No.
No? I think it would.
Are you saying like
hence
eccentric slaps?
Kind of. More like, okay, so you're just, say you're holding it in front of you.
Yeah.
Right? You are now stable and you need to hold there. Then somebody else comes by and hits it.
So eccentric rhythmic stabilization.
Yeah. It's kind of like...
which I've done with my baseball team.
Yeah,
I did
like
that.
Stability stuff with, tapping people's hands with manuals and stuff. I'd almost rather do that.
You'd rather do that than the body blade?
Instead of you standing on a Bosu, I'd rather you stand on a firm surface,
and
no shoe on,
yeah,
and then I'd rather come by and push you like this. Just like this. Just like this. Just like this.
Yeah, it's really...
Chad's like, stop pushing me.
Yeah, no, I need more core podcasting. I did box jumps today. It was fun. I haven't done them in a while. Yeah.
Good for you, Pete. God, I haven't worked out in like 6 months.
Welcome to the Dad Club.
I'm just waiting for this piece of crap gym behind me to be open.
Yeah. Get it in
Wait,
during
could
your
somebody
day.
open this place already?
Perturbations. Okay.
Perturbations.
So I think that's a fun little talk. And I kind of do agree. I think rhythmic stabilization eccentrically is probably a little bit better, but
he asked for the bud. Oh.
okay. Let's move on. Let's kind of stay in the same realm though. Let's stay in the same realm. Let's do our FMK, Kev.
Nate, I'm sorry,
So-
but that's different. Like, you just push people because you're mean.
Right here.
Yeah, what are you doing? Why are you pointing at your bicep? What's going
Nope.
on? Oh, behind you. I was distracted.
Here. If you're not watching on YouTube, you can't see Kevin right here in his new facility. Not so much here, but here in the Midwest, has a Kaiser machine.
I was just going to bring up Weatherman.
I would be the worst weatherman. I think we've talked about that just recently.
I actually would be too. How much training? Okay. Over under 100 hours of training to actually not make mistakes in front of the green screen.
I think it's like dancing.
Dancing.
Either you're going to catch it right away, like
Is it
coordination wise. I think it depends on the person.
So
I think you could have, like, it's actually like crutch training. If you
like
give someone some
training.
crutches, if they have rhythm, they're going to get it right away. If they don't have rhythm, they're going to take forever.
So you think
I think
there's
your green screen is like crutch training.
day one of weather person school. You stand in front of the green screen, and it's like if you don't get it within 2 seconds, you're out. All right, new major.
No, I think you can learn it. I just think some are more gifted at it. It's
Many.
spatial awareness.
Many are very gifted.
Many.
It's not only do you have to control a hand, but you have to speak and stare at a different monitor to know where you're pointing. It's kind of wild. Good for them. Why haven't they changed that technology, by the way?
I don't know.
Why are they standing in front of a green screen when now we have Troy Aikman can stand in front of a big ass screen and touch it and circle somebody?
John Madden.
I mean, what is going on? Why is that
The
not
Maddenstrator.
changed for weather? Is it? Come on,
Yeah.
let's go. Just make a big iPad and be done with it.
Yeah. Okay. So on the Kaiser machine back here, there's a couple different
Oh, we're
movement
talking
patterns.
Kaiser. Yep. Mm-hmm.
We're going to FMK them. We're going to do some rotational exercises.
My favorite.
And I mean, we're doing it because you got a Kaiser here, but you can do these with bands or whatever. It doesn't have to be the Kaiser. So we're going to do rotational chop low to high, rotational chop high to low, or rotational chop straight across. When you're doing rehabs, F1, marry one, kill one.
When I'm doing rehabs,
Mm-hmm.
high to low, low to high, straight across.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The straight across is the simplest movement, I would say. It's a less dynamic, but it's definitely less applicable to normal movement patterns, particularly athletic movement patterns. Low to high. Low to high also, I'm going to say, does not have a lot of application to, I'm trying to think before I say it, many athletic movement patterns. From going down, up. I would say high to low.
You're going concentric down, eccentric up.
Yeah. No, and then high to low, concentric down, eccentric up.
Oh, that's what I thought you were talking about.
So high to low.
High to low would be concentric down, eccentric up.
Yep. And low to high would be concentric up and eccentric down.
Mm-hmm. We're making everyone's head spin.
Foundations. I'm going to build a foundation. I'm going to marry that foundation because foundations are important. And so I'm just going to go straight across.
What are you doing with that?
I'm marrying it.
You're marrying it.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm going to F high to low, and I'm going to kill low to high.
You're going to F,
I think.
high to low. Is that what you said?
Nope. I'm gonna F low to high.
So you like going low to high more than you like going high to low.
Yep.
All right. Any particular reason on why you prefer going one way than the other?
I think you convinced me when you gave me some eccentric and concentric talk that if I'm gonna go low, concentric up, well then I have to control it down. Because I think predominantly in an athletic environment or in a normal, like everyday other person environment, controlling going down tends to be something that we take for granted. We tend to plop down.
ADLs.
Yeah.
Bending over, tying your shoes, bending over, picking up garbage, bending over.
Yeah. But I'm going to get the foundation solid across the middle and do it all day long and get straight rotation like I'm sliding I don't know, I'm just thinking about like my patio door. That's about it.
I think I'm going to marry. I'm going to start with the marriage here. I'm going to marry low to high.
Fine. Okay.
Because rotation. Well, here, I'll just start here. I'm going to kill the straight across.
Yeah, whatever.
I want some vertical component. I want triplanar movement.
You're not wrong.
And so I think straight across is the most functionally weak in terms of like you're just going basically two directions.
Yep.
So I want to teach going low to high. I'm thinking of, picking up, coming up out of a squat. I'm thinking eccentrically going back down. I agree with you. I think that's really important. So I will have to F with starting high, going down, and coming back.
You're so right. I so agree with you. Completely agree.
All right.
Even though I said something else, I completely agree.
Yeah, coming up out of a squat is a life skill.
Kayla, A Trevino. I don't know how I want to say that yet. At Trevino.
Lee Trevino.
I know, right? Marry low to high, F side to side, kill high to low.
Yep.
That's kind of hard to say.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking the people that are listening to this on audio or their heads are going to be spinning.
Yeah, they're like, what?
I do like the style of workout, though. I like the style of rehab.
Any kind of rotation, you just give it to me.
Yeah.
There needs to be rotation in every single rehab. And I would agree. This is where my head spins. I think overall, if you could, we can create a base of all humans and all athletes that can go side to side with a pulley or a Kaiser, and do it correctly. And when you start adding in that third plane component, man, some people just fall apart. And that's why I didn't marry it.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't marry it, because it was a rehab, and it was like, I know you're going to do it wrong, and I'm going to have to correct little things, and dang it, that's my job. So I guess I'm going to have to do it.
Okay.
So that's why I also love your answer.
Thank you. All right, let's move. Let's go to a fun fat here. I think our live streamers are going to like this one. I think hopefully if you're listening at home, you're going to like this one. Which of these three would make the best athletic trainer, Kevin?
Yes.
Beer?
Coffee. What? Beer.
Beer?
Yes.
Wine?
Yes.
And liquor?
Oh, my God, yes.
You can also FMK him if you want, but let's talk about who would make the best AT.
Can I just marry them all instead?
Not at the same time.
Gosh darn it.
That's a recipe for disaster.
I saw a TV show that you could. Beer, wine, and liquor. Okay. Beer.
Foster's.
And I'm gonna go generic. I'm gonna go very not a pale ale, not a stout, nothing. Just beer.
Beer.
Okay.
General.
Beer in general does not mix well with others. Doesn't play well with others. I will say, if you've never heard of a beer mosa, you should have a beer mosa in your life.
As a non-drinker, this is gonna be a tough segment for me.
Yeah. But you've worked in restaurants. You've been behind bars. You have mixed cocktails.
Isn't beer the most versatile of these? It's got the most variety. Whoa!
I wouldn't.
Stop knocking.
Oh, could you hear it?
Yeah, no, I think my microphone.
Oh.
Yeah, that's weird.
That one? What happened?
I don't know.
Oh, lovely podcasting on our end.
Yeah.
Beer has a lot of varieties.
Okay.
But I wouldn't say that liquor has any less, because you have whiskey, you have gin, you have vodka, you have tequila. You have different liquors, and then many varieties amongst those. Beer does have a lot of different varieties, but when it comes down to athletic training, do you want a lot of varieties of athletic trainer, or do you want a staple of what an athletic trainer is? Because then beer kind of makes sense. Wine's
got some variety too, though.
A lot of varieties. You got your red, you got your white, and then you got all the ones of those red and whites.
Blends.
And then you got some rosés. Wine also not a great mixer with things, other than occasionally white wine spritzer, something like that. Your liquor could be a standalone, could be the strength you need in a drink.
That's what Kyle was just saying.
Or it could be a mix, and it could be enhanced by whatever you mix it with. Not many times do you enhance beer by mixing it with anything. And pretty much never do you enhance wine. Ooh, lime.
Coronas?
That's a good call. You definitely enhance a Corona by adding a little lemon, by the way. Try it. You won't be disappointed.
The hard seltzers, what are they? Are those
malt beverages most often.
So is that a beer?
Yes, technically.
Technically
on the can it says beer. And then there are ones that are made with like vodka. And now there's a million of them. But when you just think of the basics of White Claw Truly, beers technically, because they're a malt beverage.
Okay.
Those can mix with stuff. Now, so I'm gonna say right off the bat, liquor is gonna be the best athletic trainer, because all liquors can stand alone, and all liquors can and could be mixed with something to enhance or make it better. And sometimes you need to water it down a little bit. Sometimes you need to take that athletic trainer and say, listen, stop thinking you know everything. I'm going to water you down a little bit. Get back to some basics. And sometimes you need to be neat and clean and tidy and burn a little bit.
How about this?
Yeah, give me it.
I feel like liquor is going to take the most time, though. It needs the most seasoning.
Ooh, good call.
You crack open a beer, you crack open a wine, it's ready to go. On a moment's notice. I mean, I guess technically if you're drinking liquor straight, you got problems, first off.
I drink it all the time.
I mean,
straight.
but like...
I definitely have problems.
Yeah, you got problems.
I go home right.
Well, I think the argument...
Nice bourbon.
I think the argument is the versatility in the liquor.
Yep.
Is you can mix it with stuff and pour it, and
or it can stand alone.
Oh, so it has the ability to stand alone, but it also so that's the positive. But if you're going to use it in other ways, it's going to take a little bit more time.
Liquor costs more. Well, not all. Well, you can get cheap wine, get expensive wine. I'm thinking about the process of making it. What does it take to make a good athletic trainer? It takes years. It takes dedication. It takes time.
So the seasoning is important.
Yeah. Aged to perfection. That's a little foreshadowing, by the way. Topic.
Mm-hmm. I'm just trying to think of other arguments.
For wine or beer?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I'm a non-drinker, so I'm completely lost.
Satisfaction. I will say a beer, cracking it open a beer, and it's just start drinking.
It's fast.
Liquor
action,
needs to be like savored for it to really be that satisfying.
Which one has the most effect right away?
Like which one? It can hit you the hardest right away?
Yeah. Wine?
Liquor, I'm sure liquor. Liquor is much higher proof than.
Okay. So it's probably the most effective then.
I would say predominantly wine has a chilling out factor for a lot of people. Like it has a very like when I'm wine drunk, I'm just kind of like whatever. I'm a little chill, a little kind of tired, a little sleepy.
That's a positive for wine.
And then many people are like, "Don't give me tequila. You give me tequila, some crazy shit's gonna happen."
And beer's the cheapest?
Can be, yeah. I would say bang for buck, or like.
So there's
the amount of ounces of beer you can get for the same amount. Like if you were to just average it all out, beer is probably going to be the cheapest. A 12-pack of beer costs the same amount as a good 12-pack of beer costs the same amount as a low to middle of the pack okay wine. If you were to spend $20 on a 12-pack of beer, you're buying a very nice 12-pack of beer.
Sure.
If you spend $20 on a bottle of wine, you're buying a good
middle of the road, yeah.
You spend $20 on a bottle of liquor, you're buying bottom shelf.
Yeah.
So from that standpoint, considering that athletic trainers are underpaid and you get a lot for them, they're beer. I would say that. Oh no, it would be the opposite too.
It'd be liquor.
It could be liquor because you could buy really cheap liquor and get hammered if you drank the whole thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's my point.
I mean, ATs all want to be top shelf.
Still going liquor. And it's solely from the standpoint of we're all great alone, but we can be better with somebody else.
Beer needs to be
the cheese
chilled.
stands alone.
Every time you shake the table, my microphone goes out.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
I'm a little aggressive.
Yeah. You're spirited like liquor. See what I did there?
Gotcha. Why would your microphone go out?
Or maybe it's my headphones. It's something. Every time you just doing that. Oh, that's better. Oh, that's better. Yeah.
Who bought this crappy equipment?
Yeah. So what I was gonna say is liquor doesn't have to be chilled. Beer needs to be chilled all the time. Right? You're not drinking a warm beer.
No, you're not.
Wine is 50-50.
It's true.
And liquor you're just gonna leave out. Maybe not some of the cordials.
Well, no. But
some stuff you're gonna
we're talking whiskeys and tequilas and vodkas. They're all sitting out.
Yeah.
And if you need to add ice, you add ice and everything's fine. You're not gonna add ice to a beer unless you're desperate.
Yeah.
And you might add ice to wine if that's how you dig it.
Can you dig it? Okay, so I think we're coming to the conclusion that liquor is going to make the best athletic trainer.
Liquor, I don't even know her.
That's what, yep.
Nope.
Yeah.
What did I say I was going to bring up earlier? Nothing? I can't remember. I was going to bring something up.
I mean, I think it was the liquor, I don't even know her.
Maybe.
All the jokes got used on the live stream. The liquor, beer before liquor, you're going to be sicker. Liquor before beer, you're in the clear, all that stuff.
Total bullshit, by the way.
You're going to be hungover no matter what if you drink enough.
What bliss that you've never been hungover. It's crazy.
No, I've heard the opposite.
Why?
I remember a stand-up comedian who said, I feel bad for the people who don't drink.
Okay.
Because they wake up in the morning and that's the best they're going to feel. I wake up hungover and I'm going to get better throughout the day. And I went, shit, he's not wrong.
He ain't wrong.
He's like, I wake up hungover. I start feeling better as the day goes along.
That's a good
All
point.
you sober people it's all downhill after you wake up.
Not to mention, if you feel like crap the next morning, you don't have anything to blame it on.
Yeah. I got no scapegoats here. This is who I am.
I can blame it on stuff.
I was hungover. Yeah, and I can't take the stuff that I say. I can't be like, I can't blame it on anything. You should never blame the alcohol for what you say.
It's going to be so interesting when you're like 70 years old and you're going to be like, you know what, Kevin? We're getting drunk tonight. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy.
It's going to be crazy. I mean, if I was going to have a drink, I don't know what would it even be.
It just depends. Do you want,
spiced rum? No, tough times there.
Maybe.
I tend to like cinnamon, so I just thought maybe that would be a thing. Maybe cream de menthe, a grasshopper.
That would actually be like, all right, maybe a solid choice. The question would be, do you want to? Do they have any alcohol, or do you not want to taste alcohol?
I don't want to taste alcohol.
Yeah, if you don't want to taste alcohol, then there's a whole section of drinks that you can't have.
Is there a peanut butter?
Yeah.
Alcohol?
I have peanut butter whiskey at home.
Is it good?
Oh, it's fine. People like taking shots of it. It's definitely peanut butter whiskey.
All right. Fun talk. Let's do. Yeah, we're ready for our feature topic. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All righty. Why don't you start this one off for us?
So, I'm going to start off by reading off exactly what we received on the old website as a topic suggestion from our friend Alyssa Smith. Message, topic, idea, new and old ATs. The perspective of a seasoned...
Colleen's making a suggestion. Add the PB whiskey to a chocolate frosty.
Uh-oh.
I might even try that.
Chad's drunk just thinking about it. All right. The perspective of a seasoned athletic trainer and their way of practice versus a newly certified or younger athletic trainer's way of practice. Talking modalities, technology, organization, products, etc. that each AT prefers. Ways to compromise and work together. That's interesting after we just talked about working together with your liquors. Thank you, Alyssa, by the way. You can go to candidathletictraining.com and leave us any kind of suggestions, not only topics, but, fictional athletic trainers and FMKs and friend or foes. Doesn't matter. Would you rathers? Give us all of them. You can drive the show of what we talk about. So, new versus old. Not new versus old. How do new and old, how do old and new work together? What can we take from the old and bring to the new, and what can we bring from the new to take to the old? What can we actually do to stop all of the new athletic trainers that are on Twitter saying, oh, that's just like the old regime, and like you guys don't know what you're talking about. Like, if you were as smart as we are, then you would understand that that's stupid. And then the old regime saying, listen, I've been around the block a few times. What you're saying, I get it, but like, you don't know everything right out of the box, right? So let's go modalities. Let's just keep it like very black and white. Modalities. What do you think old school athletic trainers use?
It depends on how old, but I think it would be
let's give
ice.
It like plus 15 years.
Ice ultrasound, STEM,
STEM.
mostly. I think that.
Yep.
I think when we talk old versus new, I think the stigma. And I'm not saying that this is for everyone. I think the stigma is that the older athletic trainers are very modality driven. Is that fair? Is that not fair? Because I've got 15 years now, and I hated modalities my last half of my career. I used modalities early in my career because I didn't know better.
Yeah, okay.
That's what I'll say. When I was a new grad, I wanted to do a lot of modalities because I thought I was helping, and then I realized I was wasting my time.
What if an older athletic trainer looked at you and said, okay, you think it's a waste of time to hook somebody up on heat and stim, but I see it as I can hook somebody up on heat and stim and treat somebody else at the same time, and now I'm doing two things at once. Am I benefiting two people at once instead of only being able to work on one person at a time? The answer is yes, because any treatment, anything is worthwhile in some capacity.
Yeah.
Right? Now,
yeah, as long as it's not contraindicated.
Sure.
It's indicated.
Right?
That's the thing. And I'm going to stop for a second because Abby thinks I'm calling her out because she doesn't use I said in general, I think this is what the perception is.
Abby.
I'm glad you don't have any passive modalities. I don't want anybody to have passive modalities, except as Kevin was just saying, if you're working hands-on with someone and you want to do something with somebody else, go ahead.
Sure.
It's indicated.
Now, a smart-ass reply would be, well, why would you put heat and stim on something when they could just go do active exercises? And then you're still not working on them, and you're still working on somebody else at the same time, right? I mean, I think that is a very valid question, young athletic trainer. But at the same time, being proficient on doing a lot of things at one time takes time to learn. I don't think, and now modalities are a very specific sect of what athletic training does. So I think what's the equivalent of heat and stim or ice and stim for the old athletic trainer that is for the new young athletic trainer?
The modality wise?
Yeah.
I mean, I would think it's just the newest modalities.
I got one thing in mind. It just came to me, but you keep going.
I mean, it would be the Mark Pros,
Okay.
That kind of stuff.
The thing that pops
BFR
the thing that pops out in my mind of like, this makes my job a little easier, and I'm becoming a little more proficient at getting a job done is like a Theragun, a Hypervolt.
Sure.
Something that's like, I don't have to use my hands, and now I'm creating some tissue change. I'm trying to stimulate some whatever tissue change, but I'm using a device. And so why would I use my hands when I could use something else to do it? Graston tools, smart tools. I don't know why I said don't go to Graston. Sorry, smart tools. Instrument assisted soft tissue mobilization. Why would I use my hands when I can use a tool?
Yeah.
Right? These are the new modalities that, like, why would I actually get my hands on a body when I could put a cup on it and I could run it everywhere and I could go and I could create a bruise on somebody? I think that mixture, the modality world, I think me and you always talk about it, and hands on bodies is very important. It's how you learn what good tissue feels like. It's how you get to know like your athletes a little bit better. But there's just as many young ATs that just say, I'm just going to put some cups on it, as there are old ATs that say, I'm just going to do some heat and stim or ice and stim. Right?
Yeah, I think you make a good point. I think it's just the mentality of it changes a little bit just with what options you're presented. So I want to back up on the live stream here for a second. I thought
are they going nuts?
I thought Dylan had some really good points, and Kayla did too. Kayla said some new ATs need to check ego and I think she's considering herself a newer. She says some new ATs need an ego check and don't know everything and usually just spew the stuff they just learned from school word for word because they just heard it. And Dylan said the problem is with the transition over to ELM, a good majority of the new young professionals don't know anything that they are walking into, which is AKA, I think, kind of experience. I think what has to happen in terms of there's the learned knowledge and there's knowledge from experience. And let's be honest. Personally, I think the education that's being taught now, I think that the kids coming out now know more than I knew when I was coming out.
Hope so.
In terms of some things, but they obviously lack in experience because they don't have it yet. And just how to handle people. And I do think that, like Kayla said, when you learn something and it's fresh and that's what you know, you stick to that. And it's tough to break from, this is what I was taught. It took me 5 years as a professional to realize, damn, I gotta change my philosophies here, or I'm going to be doing treatments 24 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when you and I, frankly, were having discussions about neurokinetic therapy, which I thought was the first paradigm shift in my career.
Sure.
And treating, muscles that are facilitating and inhibiting and stuff like that. And then it just became all right, let's get people to move better. So I think the old people rely on experience and are not open to maybe some of the knowledge that the younger professionals might have, or some of the research. I think older people will be like, no, this is the way I've always done it, so let's do it that way. I'm resistant to learning, and vice versa. Sometimes I think the new professionals be like, oh, I know all this. I don't care what's worked for you in the past. I think that's probably where some of the disconnect is.
Sure. One of the smartest people we know.
Oh.
Our good friend.
Mm-hmm.
Not Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
That guy needs to hit his receivers a little more.
What receivers?
Yeah.
They didn't get any.
My bad. Love you. No, Dave. Yags. So we were just on a call, actually, like with my clinic. He jumped on with us. We were talking about mastery of skill. A book I was talking about last week, Range, being a generalist in a very specialized world, how it can benefit you to know more things versus just one thing. He actually responded to our last week with the fatigue and everything, and he said, the thing about research is that the more data points you have, the further away from the individual we get. So let's take that into this conversation. The more we learn in school, the more research data points we get, that we memorize, that we learn, and we have all this knowledge, the further we get away from the actual athlete or patient that's on the table.
That's a great point.
So there's nothing, unfortunately. I'm very guilty. I remember sitting around a fire, actually, having a nice drink, probably a liquor, maybe a wine, with two of my mentors, one being Dave Yeager and the other one being Dan Wright. And they were basically trying to explain to me, you're young, you're really good at what you do, but there's nothing that you can do except go through time to be better at what you do. You're going to have to keep going, and you're going to have to keep touching bodies. You're going to have to keep working on the individuals. And so
that's called honing your skills.
Yeah, and it's called creating a little bit of mastery, right? And so when you're talking about experience versus, like, say, knowledge, right? Experience versus the research, experience versus what a book says. The perfect world is like those two people working together on that same issue, right? Now, the problem is not every athletic trainer has two people to work with, right? So understanding that when you're a young athletic trainer, you're going to have to take time to master skills, and you're going to have to take time to like actually know what it feels like to create a change with your athlete. Just takes time. But then the older generation needs to understand that this younger generation has more resources and has more evidence of things that we can use with your like experience skill set. And that's where I don't understand why people get so freaking like worked up about like, oh, you're just an old school athletic trainer. Oh, you're just a young idiot. Like, one, time, work ethic, not complaining about the profession every moment that you can possibly have when you've only been in the profession for 3 years. Like, that is valuable. But at the same time, there is value in the fact that I went to school for a really long time. I had to learn a crap ton of things, and I had to memorize a lot of research that it didn't even exist when you were in school. And so now we know these things. And so why are you doing this?
Yeah.
Why are you putting ice on somebody after they've just exercised? Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
It has to make sense at some point.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Abby brings up a good point. She says,
always.
Somebody who's done this for 27 years, not all best practices, evidence-based stuff is going to be 100% effective, and going outside the box has to occur.
Correct.
It's kind of like a condom. It's not going to be 100% effective.
Holy cow. Sometimes it breaks.
And that's when you have to rely on experience.
If you're always going based
or
on
intuition.
If you're always going based on the research, you're only going based on the past, right? You're never trying to like push it forward to try to get the better result. And so there has to be like a piece of that goes and says, I'm sorry, like I know your evidence is saying this, but my experience is saying this. And my individual that I'm working on doesn't it's not working. They're one of the 10% that in your study it doesn't work. And so why would I keep doing it?
Some really good live stream comments. Kyle says, best advice I ever got, take 5 to 10% of the knowledge or skills from each setting and experience you've had and build your own skill set. And Dylan says, people need to remember that 1/3 of the evidence-based practice is clinicians' experience.
Yeah.
I mean, it really comes down to, are you trying to advocate for the individual, or are you just trying to prove that you know what you know? Stop caring. Like, if you want to use, I don't know, I guess.
Stop being stubborn.
Yeah, we're all just stubborn. We're all stubborn.
Guilty. Totally guilty. I think there's this weird thing that happens too.
We need a Big Brothers Big Sisters program for ATs.
So that's
mentor program.
That's what internships and mentorships.
Maybe that's what NATA is using the money for.
There you go. Maybe. And if not, hey, you know where to find them. You remember like getting so good at something?
No, I've never been so good at anything in my entire life. How
about this?
I've always considered myself very average at almost like 100% of the things I do.
100% you're lying, and then therefore, because I know there's something you do in athletic training that you can do and not think. Like at some point, somebody laid down on a table and you stretched their shoulder and you were like, did I do everything that wait, I didn't even like go through systematically, like, did I stretch this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this? And there was also a point in your life where you had to, okay, I got to hit this, I got to hit this, I got to hit this, I got to hit this. And then as you were, and Dave's going to be really proud of me for bringing this up, but as you were going through that stretch that you were like, I'm already done with the stretch, you found something different all of a sudden. Mm-hmm. And you're like, well, why is that different? This made me stop. Like, why is this different? That part of being an athletic trainer is where like the experience, you've kind of mastered stretching the shoulder. And so now the experience of this is different is now where it's almost like you want to go to the young athletic trainer and say, hey, I'm feeling this. What do you think this is? Because I basically blacked out as I was stretching the shoulder, and now it's different. I've never felt this on this player before.
Yeah.
What do you think this is? And listen to him. And then listen to the older athletic trainer as the younger athletic trainer and say, what the F? Like, you didn't have to, like, systematically go through something? No, I just did it.
Yeah.
It's like, and again, Dave, driving your car home. How many times have you driven your car home and been like, oh, I'm home. I don't even remember turning down my street.
I just, on the way here, I was like, wait.
Until a deer jumps out in front of you.
On the way here, I was like, wait, did I go through this intersection already?
There's a deer.
I'm like, oh, I just passed something I wanted to look at. Yeah, all the time.
Exactly.
So,
and I think there's a big athletic training like talk in there. There's a big athletic training stop yelling at each other on Twitter because you don't understand the other person's viewpoint because you're two different people. Yeah. Hey, I'm going to lightly turn this on because I think we're getting there.
Oh,
right?
Nate's mom just hit a deer tonight. Jeez.
Oh, hopefully your mom's okay.
Hopefully the car's okay.
Hopefully the car's okay. Hopefully, well, you know, when you hit a deer, you don't really get to take it home.
First off, we hope your mom is okay.
Yes.
Second off, we also hope that the car is okay.
You know what? Hopefully she's driving a big old F-150 or something, and she's just fine. But I think that was a pretty good conversation. Right?
Absolutely.
Thanks, Alyssa, for bringing it to our attention. Very applicable in the AT Twitter world, that's for sure, and in our world amongst our listeners. I think we have so many new athletic trainers and so many young athletic trainers, but we also have a lot of experienced veteran athletic trainers. I'm not just talking about you, Abby. I'm talking about everybody else too.
Final results of the poll.
Give it to me.
Do you like Mountain Dew? 51 to 49. No. Oh, it's so close. Friend or foe, body blade, 87%. Yeah, 50-50. Do you like Mountain Dew right now? That's fun.
51-49. Thanks to our sponsors, Healthy Roster, Smart Tools, and Human Kinetics, all giving us great opportunities for all of our listeners and our members. And you know what? Go to candidathletictraining.com. Leave us your topic suggestions, buy some swags, and Candid_ATC.
Yeah, we'll see y'all next week.
Bye.